Hello, investors. This is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state in an uptrend. Take a look at trend gauge over here. Market leaders neutral with a green sub arrow. CPI is tomorrow morning, so keep an eye on that and how the market reacts. But overall, lot of positive strength in the AI data center names, fueled by Oracle's earnings and guidance, and some weakness in some other areas. So again, continues to be a market where you need to pick the right stocks and specifically in the right groups. Short term, trending above the 21 EMA, medium term above the 50, and long term above the 200-day moving average. What happened today? Oracle closed the day up over almost 40% on the day, on an earnings miss actually, but they had some huge guidance, some huge numbers, and that spilled over into many other names that benefit from the AI infrastructure rollout. So those names were super strong today, but indexes kind of put in the highs in the first 15 minutes and kind of faded during the day. Here are the final numbers: 21 over 21 list up 1.91%, 12 green, 3 neutral, 6 red. Turbo 12 up 2.24% today, 6 green, 6 red. Big 8 down 0.66%. Apple was quite weak again today. RG8 up 0.08% on the day. 60/40 stock and bond up 0.19%. Flagship portfolio GROTECTION up 0.39% on the day, and TurboTection up 1.14% on the day. Let's get into the inter-asset correlation. As always, chart S&P 500, and looks good. Just grinding higher, close back above that 6,500. But if we zoom in on the intraday, you can see, gapped up about 0.5% this morning and then kind of just slowly faded during the day. But again, as long as we're above the 8 and 21, 6,500 level, things look constructive. CPI tomorrow, so that will move the market. RSP, again, needs to get over this 188.16. Big flat base breakout potential here. Because it's been showing relative weakness lately. QQQ looks constructive in this space. Again, 583.32 is that previous high. See if they can get through that and sustain. Mag 7 continue to trend higher. Dow Jones, again, trying to hold this breakout of this big base, down about 0.5% today. Pretty normal action. Mid caps continuing 3-day pullback. You can see this upper trend line. Each when it pulls back, it's been supported. So rate sensitive and CPI tomorrow could trigger, a move back up. Russ 2000 starting to flag out here off the 8 EMA as well. Looks constructive. ARC, relative weakness today, down 1.34%, but got power 3, 821 in the 50-day all coiled up. FFTY, strong day for leaders today. New highs here. VIX up slightly today, still below that 16 spot. The dollar just consolidating at the low end of the range here. Gold, big undercut and reclaim of the 8 EMA today. GDX continues trend higher. Silver setting up a continuation flag here. Bitcoin trying to get back above the 50-day moving average. Bonds, continued strength here. TLT as well, moving higher, and that coincided rates falling off cliff here. See TYX and the TNX, big breakdowns here, something to monitor. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Percent of stocks for the 5-day moving average. Again, today was quite a weak breath day, believe it or not. And this is down to 29. So if the S&P is going to kind of get some move higher and sustain it, this is in a good position here. Still operating on the bull case. News-wise, mentioned Oracle earnings tomorrow, and we had PPI this morning. That came in at minus 0.01%. Consensus was 0.3%. And I mentioned tomorrow CPI, and then Friday consumer sentiment at 10 in the morning. Today's keys: S&P versus the 21 and all-time highs. Green arrow there. Qs versus 21 and all-time highs as well. Above the 21, below all-time highs, and then Russ 2000 holding above the 8 EMA, consolidating below that 2400 level. Perhaps a flag forms, and then it can have the fuel to break out. Going into Thursday, going to be watching the same stuff. Kind of 4-day consolidation, 5 days above the 8 EMA, 6 days above the 21 EMA. And like I mentioned, action kind of an open equals high, and then just kind of a trend down day, little rally into the close. Sectors wise, WGMI. This is filled with many of the crypto miners that have transitioned into AI infrastructure stocks now with the energy for data centers that made new highs again today, continues to be strong. Chat, this is just generative AI ETF, strong on the day. And then oil, Bitcoin, semiconductors, and software. Weakness, biotech, healthcare, builders, and financials. GROTECTION today just sold RBRK. 1.26 beta, minus 5.47% open heat. TurboTection added on to Tesla and Ethereum, did an offensive trim in BE, 2.2 beta, minus 6.13% open heat. Bottom line, Oracle ignites AI slash data center names, S&P and the Qs look for new highs. Let's take a look into the 21 over 21 list. BE leading the 21 over 21 list. Sympathy to Oracle closed day at 14%. In TurboTection, we took an offensive trim on this one again today. Position was up about 40%. And again, this one's just been a monster stock. Weeks back, we are highlighting this every day in the video. You had an 8-year big base breakout, multiple catalysts, 20% short interest, fantastic fundamentals, great RS, really had everything. We talked about it many times in the videos, and nice to see this position working. And yeah, got ignited again today off sympathy with Oracle earnings. Credo, another kind of sympathy play here as well, up 10%. Really strong action here. Now it's getting quite extended, not buyable, but again, nevertheless, absolutely a leader. Reddit, fantastic day, up 8%. GROTECTION added on to this one yesterday, and really powerful day, breaking out through that 250 spot. And this one again continues to act like one of the best stocks in the market. ALAB, another one. This one's been good. Biggest holding in TurboTection as well. Another really, really strong day, up 7.5%, and continuing higher. Arista Networks, kind of another sympathy off the Oracle earnings. New highs again today. GDX covered it. Gold continues to be a great place in the market. Net making new highs again today. APP super strong, 3-day fall through after getting added to the S&P 500. That was the catalyst here and falling through to the upside. MongoDB, great post earnings action, continues to ride higher. Seagate, another one in this computer data storage, acting phenomenal. Another high today. First Solar holding above this 200 spot. That's good to see. DoorDash holding above this 250 spot. Tesla getting super tight now. A lot of eyes on this chart, rightfully so. From compression comes expansion. Finally getting that positive moving average alignment. 360 is the key level. Added another little piece on in TurboTection today, but pretty textbook VCP, right? First contraction, you could say the second, third, and you can see all these contractions are getting tighter and tighter. And obviously, this is still in a range, but 360 is the level we're keying in on, and it just continues to get really tight, and looks like it's gearing up for a move soon. SE continuing higher, good action. Snowflake, pretty good post-earnings action. Kind of got a downtrend line flag forming after undercut and reclaiming the lows of the gap day. Take two, sitting at the highs. SoFi, just down on the day, but again, trending nicely. Valero, undercut and reclaiming this 155.12 pivot. Carvana, just in a big base, going sideways. Futu, potentially breaking the 21 here, something to monitor. And then Tempest, again, the character of this stock, it's quite a choppy one, and you don't want to buy it on strength. Dipped off the morning, ripped back up, and then kind of came back in with the market. But nevertheless, as long as this holds above the 21, this to me just looks like it's consolidating before potential confirmation breakout above this 80 level. And this again, this guy's got a huge monthly, weekly base as well. With AI medical. All right, that's the 21 over 21 list. Let's take a look at the Turbo 12 covered BE. Awesome day. Irene, this is another turbo protection holding. We bought it before it got that sympathy move with NBIS. But again, another monster day, up 11, almost 11.5%. This is what I was talking about. WGMI is the Bitcoin miner. And look at this ETF coming out of a huge, huge, huge base. I mean, just beautiful, perfect weekly chart, really, and monthly. You can see just and Irene's one of these names, and you can see Irene is just getting back above these 2021 IPO highs. So, that's a big change in character. Yeah, it's had a big move off the lows, but now it's just getting into new highs. This no longer has any overhead. Anyone that has bought is now in a profit, and that's sometimes an easy way to look at something, right? If you bought any of these days, you're at a profit. So less selling as this continues higher. Again, maybe getting a little bit short-term extended, 37% above the 21 EMA, two really strong days, but nevertheless, you got triple-digit earnings, triple-digit sales, big weekly, monthly base in a hot sector, hot theme. That's what you want to look for in a bull market. And this one kind of checks all those boxes. Credo covered that, just continues to be a rock star. PSTG, another one in this computer data storage. You have PSTG continued higher after this earnings gap. Covered STX, WDC is another one moving higher. Micron, this one's on our watch list. This broke out of this cup and handle base. Was tough to get on board with this one. And, weekly, pretty big weekly and monthly base. This reports in 13 days. So see what the trend is on earnings for this one. Obviously, STX, WDC have had and PSTG have had strong action from earnings, and then SanDisk. This is another new name, absolutely rocketing out of this base. Huge volume right here and a lot of accumulation. So keep this one on eye for a high tight flag, potentially PAAS, continuing higher in the gold silver complex. Wayfair flagging out at the highs. Carmen starting to flag out at the highs after this big expansion breakout on volume. Rocket Lab getting tight in this cup and handle base, kind of got a downtrend line right there. Sedge broke the 21 day. WGS sitting at 21, covered Tempest, and then Unity has been a very strong name since breaking out of this base. And if you look at the weekly, right, really big weekly base as well. And then some other sympathies to Oracle, right? CoreWeave trying to get back above the 50-day on highest volume ever. So that's worth to watch. NBIS, obviously, we're watching this after this huge expansion day on the Microsoft news, flagging out quite well. Oracle, highlight of the day, closed the day up almost 36% on almost 1,000% above average volume. And now Larry Ellison is the richest man in the world, 81 years old. He's not doing too bad. And just pretty incredible guide on Oracle. Pretty insane numbers that they mention. And some other of these Bitcoin miner transitioning, CIFR, right? This one's getting some big volume. Riot's another one. You can see they're all breaking out in tandem. Wolf's another one out of this high tight flag after this highest volume ever. So you can really see the money flowing into this group evident in the ETF and the individual stocks as well. And then one thing I did want to mention, right? You look at Twitter, you look at online, and every time you get into September, the talk of the town is September seasonality. It's so bad. It's historically the worst month of the year. But I saw a very, very interesting stat over the weekend that this is only the case when the S&P 500 is below the 200-day moving average. And many market crashes have occurred below have occurred in September. And obviously that coincides with price being below the 200-day moving average. But when the S&P 500 is above the 200-day moving average, September is historically positive for the general indexes. So that's something really important to know. Obviously, seasonality is always a secondary indicator. Price action of the major indexes and leaders is always number one, but we keep this in the back of our mind. But after reading that, you just see the misuse of that stat, and it's quite, it's very notable to know that September is historically positive when the S&P 500 is above the 200-day moving average, especially when you factor in presidential cycles. And that's what we're looking at right now. And so far, a couple September has been acting pretty good. A lot of the leaders have been acting well, right? The market tr base sitting above 6,500, trending above all key moving averages. So not the time to be fearful of weak seasonality, especially when what the data shows. So CPI is tomorrow. That's going to be important at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time to see how the market reacts. But all in all, pretty positive day, especially for the AI energy data center names like right, like GEV is another one coming back from the dead, back above 600, all key moving averages. VRT is another one, was up 9% on the day. So you can see a lot of these names had good days today, but some of the other leaders, 50-50. And with the market pulling in near the end of the day, some other names followed with it. But see what CPI has in store for tomorrow and how the market reacts. That is going to wrap it. As always, I'd like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. You can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. You can reach out to me on Twitter at ConnorJBates_. Phone is 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, as always, please reach out. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, share, subscribe, comment. And with that, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.